I wouldn't fight with that bird, like.
Nah, what about?
She was a complete lunatic.
She was gonna go super saiyan.
She was going supersized,
Welcome back to the Nasty Nova Drunkcast. And yeah, I think this time around we're going to talk about women. I think we've already started.
Women, I'm gonna shimmy along in the middle this time, you know. Alright.
That's the one.
Let's get some tunes on. Yeah,
let's get a tune on.
no, the ones you just had on, man. But keep it down low.
Nah, I'll get a good one on.
So here we are drinking some cups of tea, which is actually...
I'm having some apple juice in it.
It's actually apple juice mixed with hallucinogenic drugs.
And some crack.
Is that really crack?
I love some crack.
My girlfriend used to love crack.
Well, Coca-Cola used to have crack when they started.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Coca-Cola.
And it doesn't have any more?
No, I don't think so. I don't know, man. Who really knows that recipe? Actually, did you know a fun fact?
Oh, yeah.
There's only one person in the whole world that knows the secret to the Coca-Cola, and it goes to the, like, the youngest born, or just whatever. It gets inherited.
Sorry, bro.
It gets inherited.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool. So, Quizmaster.
Sorry, wrong one.
What's the crack?
The crack is Where Do I Belong, but it's on a...
Love lifts me up where I belong.
It's
those eagles fly.
Malfunctioning at the minute.
Just stick that tunes on you had on before.
This is not alcohol.
It's not even showing it. Like,
Oh, that's alright. We don't need the...
The music's gone now. It's dead. That one.
We have been working with aluminium.
Hiya!
Wait, that stuff you had on when we were playing before? He's a nightmare. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
I do everything, you know.
What?
I can't do everything, you know.
You can do something.
Fucking hell.
Oh, I said put
You're
some tunes
fucking
on. How was that?
Just choose, man. Just choose.
Keep it down a little bit.
Just hold your horses. I'm just having a chill here, trying to get my groove on and shit.
What's in that?
Some crack cocaine, man.
Yeah?
I think some crack.
It's cannabis.
Man, you want me to help you? You got some cannabis?
I thought you were rapping on that one.
Yeah.
Do I disappoint you, sir?
I'd bite my thumb at you, sir.
Did you know that I'm a rebel?
Sling of a maverick.
Answer a question.
Emphasis on mav.
Do you think that more white girls go for black guys than white girls go for white guys?
No, not at all. I think they only go for black guys as just something different, just to fuck.
You said in something interesting before. Women hate women.
Yeah, we did say that.
I said that.
So elaborate on that. What do you mean?
So is it my question?
No. It's Nathan's.
It's about asking me.
No. It was a good point.
He said it.
I'll elaborate on it if you want.
I'm the one who said it.
Well, who slut shames? Well, no. Nathan said it first, and then you said, yeah, you're right.
I said, yeah, you're right.
I'm the one who said it. Yeah, anyway.
Now we're having technical difficulties.
Easy.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
I thought Nathan said it, but
It's not important who said it.
Yeah. Somebody said it.
they slut shame more than anyone else. And like,
They what?
they blame
Slut
men for
shame.
slut shaming. Yeah, do you know what slut shaming is?
Oh, no.
Well, basically when another woman calls another woman out for being a slut, or
She says, love, yeah, you're a fucking hooah. You know what I mean? You're the fucking slag of South Shields.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
he's met many of those.
Yeah, we all...
Myself, man, when I was working for the clubs, I remember one time I was drunk as hell and I was kissing these two girls at the same time.
Yeah, we'll be there.
And they were taking pictures as well. I was just thinking, yeah, man, you're coming to my house later on. And I was like, You came together and you're all kissing me at the same time. How can I not call you sluts at this point right now?
Yeah.
Like, so some girls, man, they're quite whorish.
Well, some lasses like to be
Quite
all that.
liberal.
Some lasses to just take it in their stride, right? But mainly the women that complain about slut shaming are feminists. But they're the worst slut shamers out of them all.
Most men,
They're the worst hypocrites for that reason as
the
well.
men who are feminists.
Men who are feminists are just as worse, but women feminists
women, yeah.
usually.
I usually find that women who are real feminists are ugly as hell.
Yeah.
Ugly as hell.
And
Hot as fuck.
I mean, it's a point that needs to
Yeah.
be kind of like addressed. I think it's a point that needs to be addressed because, like, sure, there's feminism, but if you're beautiful, you will love feminism because you're beautiful and guys gawk over you.
And guys will pay for you.
Exactly. I mean, guys, like even us, I'm sure have you been to like a strip club or something like that?
Of course.
You actually will pay money to watch this girl like slightly half naked and dancing in front of you, and she's just doing that, and you just give her money, and she's like.
And then if I look at my wife and I'm like, love, he has some money when he dances, she goes, fuck off.
So
Yeah, but see, she's required by law to have sex with you, so it doesn't count.
But who would you rather sleep with, your wife or a stripper?
Well, it depends.
It doesn't vogue.
It's not who you rather because
listen, you've never been married.
guys are-
I'm sure if you decided
guys-
to marry someone, it would be someone that you
it's
probably
different.
wouldn't want to cheat on.
Once you marry
That's the
her,
whole
you
idea
spend
of
all
marrying someone,
once
isn't it,
you,
though?
cause once you marry a woman and you spend all the money on the marriage and everything like that, and you've known her for what 2 years or whatever, something like that, and finally you marry her, you've slept with her, let's say 100 times, and
it's still as good as the first time.
Is it?
Well, no, I'm
It's
saying
not.
if it is, then you marry her.
I want to debunk this myth, right?
No,
Steak.
if it is, you marry her. If it's not, then
I don't think
you
a
don't.
lot. I don't think
that
a lot.
should be the measurement.
I don't think a lot of people marry a girl who the pussy is still as good as it was the
Yeah.
first time they got it, because
Yeah.
by the time you marry a woman,
I'm just as lucky then.
by the time you marry a woman, unless you're in prison, then you already beat that pussy up. And you know what I'm saying? And it has to
It's
be
like
like,
buying
yo,
a used
this is
car.
my pussy.
I'll explain this, right? If you had a steak, you'd be like, that was a fucking delicious steak.
That is a delicious
But if you have a
steak.
steak every day for a month,
You're not
gonna
gonna
say,
want-
I want some chips, aren't you?
Even though you don't really like chips that
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
you say, you know what? I need some chips today.
Exactly.
You know what? I'll have some bread and peanut butter. I haven't had that shit in ages.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's just fat and a bit vinegary, but what the fuck, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm drunk.
So you,
Man,
so
that's
You know what I'm
to
talking about.
agree that there was misogynist.
he probably knows what you're talking about too.
He fucking does.
Like, yeah, man, I mean with a big bombastic thing.
And she had big tits, right?
They always do.
They always do.
They're always wobbling like constantly. You try to talk to her and the titties are just like they're wobbling in front of you like.
Hypnotically.
You're like, oh,
Are
man.
you talking about big lasses?
Yeah, we are.
But
big
big lasses
booty
don't wobble, the waddle.
It's all good.
Waddle. You see, I thought a waddle was like that the woman wrinkle thing that they get.
No, that's a.
I thought it was a
Waddle.
waddle.
Is that called a waddle?
I almost, because I don't. I
A
don't.
waddle is like a duck's walk. And it's
English
like-
is my second language, so I'm not 100% on everything.
What's your first language?
Soto.
Is that a real language?
Yes.
Is it like Elvish or something?
No, that's a big language in South Africa, Sesotho.
Sotu.
Yeah, man.
Where did they speak that?
South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I thought that was Afrikaans.
No, Afrikaans is actually a white people language. It's just that the only reason people think it's a South African language is because it sounds like Afrikaans,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's just a language that was taken there by Dutch people.
Today I've learned.
So
Yeah.
where like right, so we've established right that women hate women more than men hate women, right?
Yeah.
I would also say that women hate men more than
Men hate men.
men
Yeah.
hate men, but I'd also say then like men hate women as well. I'd say like
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but
a-
women
there's a-
still hate men more than men hate men.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That yeah.
I don't
that's
think
exactly what
men
I'm saying.
hate women to begin with. I think it's
And
a
it's not
learned
really, yeah.
trait. You know?
It's just that guys are confused to what the fuck is it that
They've
women
had a
want.
name for it. That's the
I
only
can-
difference for it. They've had a name for it for ages. They call it misogyny, whereas we call it misandry when it's aimed at us. and it passes by their heads like, misandry was that?
I
It's
can
when you hate
explain
men.
this
When
simply
you understand,
as well.
like you hate men, you can blatantly tell that you hate all men, women. Like you,
Right. You might hate all these women for whatever the fucking shit personality, right?
I've
But-
met women who fucking just have a distaste for all men, and like
Yeah.
you know.
But there's a duality in there because you still want to fuck her, man. It's just gorgeous.
I don't give a fuck. Like if she's hot, I'll fuck you.
Yeah, if you think about
If you hate me, listen, girl. If you're hot, you get it.
if you think about your last or whatever girlfriend you've been going out with, right, and she's just been nagging you, fucking bitching on, just being an absolute cunt. But you still put up with it. Why? Because she's got a gorgeous
But
arse,
women who hate
gorgeous
men-
tits,
And you know that pussy's good.
And yeah.
Women who hate
You know what I'm saying?
And you think if you were anybody else, if you're ugly or whatever, I'd never speak to you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
women who
And
hate
then you marry her.
women who hate men, right? They tend to be the ones that
Who are ugly as fuck.
that get angry as fuck when they fancy you back.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you see that-
like it
that's-
makes them more angry.
But that's a different type of like a love thing. Like some women, because guys are the ones who are supposed to like go up to the girl and be like, hey baby, what's your name, blah blah. You wanna go out sometime?
Yeah.
Women, a lot of the times these days is fine, really. Like I prefer it if a girl come up to me right now because
Definitely.
I'm not.
Because there's
Yeah.
there's a line, right? If a girl likes you and you go up to her, you're the most romantic guy in the world. But if she doesn't like you that much and you go up to her, you're
And
the
then-
biggest creep going.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how sweet you would have sounded if she liked you.
Yeah.
If you say it and she really doesn't like you, you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is the responsibility
Yeah,
on
me, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
like, all I've said is, hi, how's it going? On one hand, I'm a prince.
That's it.
On the other hand, I'm a fucking absolute cunt. You know what I mean? Like, just depending on how you're feeling.
oh, completely. And you know what, ladies? That's fucked up. You
It
can't
is
do that
fucking
shit.
fuck you.
You can't do that to us no more, man. No. You know what? You said equality, so you come to me and you pay for some
Covering
dates
yourself
as
today,
well.
people.
Yeah, you take me out to dinner.
I would like to see that.
I would
You know
like a
what I'm saying?
steak, please.
Thank you very much.
Here comes the salt of the
But the-
conversation. I love it when the truth comes out.
The day I mentioned chips, love, watch out, right?
I've talked to women who've like threatened punches in the face because I've told them that we live in a matriarchal society and not a patriarchal society.
Why
They're
would
trying to
somebody-
sell this over and over and over again.
Why
We
was-
live in a patriarchal society. Don't you understand? I'm like, what are you on about? Do you not realise that we'll have a queen at the helm? There's a queen, you know, there's a fucking female bitch at the
Yeah.
cockpit of this fucking crazy train.
What about when Thatcher was in government? How could you say anything then?
I can't. Well,
Thatcher and the Queen.
she even spoke out against feminism, no?
Aye.
Thatcher, I didn't agree with her on many things, and she was probably a paedophile along with Jimmy Savile.
Have you realized that?
But I agree with her on that,
Yeah.
at least.
When it comes to presidents, especially when it's like Britain and America,
Did I just
as
agree
long-
with
as long
Thatcher?
as
I'm
it's
sorry.
like a white
Apologise.
guy, like
In fact, no, I will
and
not
like
apologise.
like middle-aged white guy who's a president.
Yeah.
It's always like, okay, that's the president, and if he does something bad, well, if he's not doing anything bad, then he's just like another president and fucking blah blah. But if you like, let's say Britain, Margaret Thatcher, like a first woman thingy came in, yeah, and then she was even more horrible than every other thing is. And
Yeah.
even women who can say, oh yes, she's a woman, so you have to give her some time, blah 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 blah. After a certain amount of time, everybody like was like, yo, Margaret Thatcher's a bitch, yo. Now look at it in America, the first black president. Black people have been waiting for this guy to say anything about black people, like yo, free chicken or anything. We've been waiting. Like,
Half-price KFC.
anything, man. I mean, if you look at the history of white presidents, it's like white, black.
Yeah.
And then this black guy is like, what the fuck is going on?
I was watching Muhammad Ali, right, the other day,
Yeah.
and he's interviewing that. He says, America wants to watch out when there's a black president because the only time they'll give it to a black guy is when shit has hit the fan. Right, yeah, mate, it's yours.
To be honest with you, yeah, to be honest with you, that was you know, we can talk about like, I personally completely don't like the people who are controlling America right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though, I think they're completely fucking smart, man. They're geniuses. They're
Yeah.
fucking like every time, like wow, like it was Bush and Bush was fucking up like crazy and stuff like that, yeah. and they needed to continue that in order for whatever they're doing, I guess. So they got Obama. I mean, Obama, everybody can like him.
He's a nice guy.
He's black, so black people don't have to say like Bush, blah blah. These white bastards are hating us, whatever. So black people are completely out of the equation. Black people, even myself, I can say it right now. Before I really known anything about Obama, I would have voted for him in a heartbeat just because he was black. That's just me right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people said it as well.
We would have.
Yeah, and a lot of other people said it as well. Yeah, but he came in and black people were like, yeah, and then other people couldn't say anything else, and even people who are like, oh man, stop racism, you know, whatever, peace and love, they're like, oh, the first black president, good for them as well, you know what I'm saying, let's vote for this guy, and he's so cool as well. He's not really black, because you can't get like a really like a whole black person there. You need him to be black but half white as well, so other people can say at least he's half white. So they're not really against him for the whole racial thing. The whole racial thing is taken out of the equation, and then black people are already like sorted out.
It's funny you say that, right? Because you know how he's so mesmerizing.
Yeah, he's like, he's got charisma, the guy, he can kind of sing, he plays basketball. I mean, what the fuck, he's like the coolest president. Really, like, that's
really why though? Do you really want to know why he's so mesmerizing?
Because they needed him to be.
We're back to secrets.
They needed him to be so fucking awesome in order to to continue the Bush.
Hold on.
Continue the
Bush. I'm telling you, man.
Our name, Nathan, right? It comes from Akhenaten, right? From Egypt.
Akhenaten,
right? The ancient, the ancient Egyptian pharaoh, right? And they say, right, some conspiracy theorists, well, even though I hate that word, and maybe me and Jay hate that word.
I don't like the word at all, man, no.
What does it say?
It's right what to say about that word. It's just a derogatory term for a critical thinker.
Okay.
And yeah, but the people, the critical thinkers who've done the research on this say that Obama has Akhenaten's blood in him, and they've done comparisons. They've done comparisons with the statues that were built along at the time.
You can't do that.
Of Akhenaten, right? And they look exactly like Obama.
It doesn't
I shit you
matter.
not, Obama looks exactly like Akhenaten.
There's the statues that look like Michael Jackson as well.
Is, I don't know.
Like an Akhenaten clone. Did you not know that had cloning technology?
No, I don't know where the theory.
The
I don't know where the theory disappeared to because.
They've been making movies about it for years. Wake up and smell a coffee.
Since people don't talk about it, I don't know what's going on.
Schwarzenegger.
I don't know what's going on with the story because nobody really talked about it. I've seen it, I heard about it a couple of times. I thought Obama was a test tube baby.
Have you seen the island?
I heard that as well.
Have you seen the island?
What?
I've seen that.
With all the clones in it. That's telling you what's going on.
By the way, cloning, I think, has been going. I mean, sure, they can say it's illegal, blah blah. But
it's alien technology that they're taking for their own.
I would say something like this.
What do you think the Akhenaten? Who do you think Akhenaten worshipped?
He worshipped the sun, the on.
He worshipped aliens. Why do you think he wore an alien headdress?
He worshipped the sun.
Massive head.
One second, question for you, my friend. Do you believe in aliens?
I don't.
Once I believe in aliens, I believe that. Do you believe aliens exist?
I believe they exist, but I don't believe they've visited the planets.
They're physically what?
I don't think they've came to Earth.
You don't think they've been on Earth at all?
No.
Why not?
Distance, man. Distance.
Listen. That's your perception of since you have been on Earth. This is impossible to go over there, but technology. Like right now, if I explain to you, like if everybody in the whole world died and you needed somehow to make a remote controller, do you know anything about how you click that and that goes over there and somehow it just works? Do you know anything about that?
That's a good point because I was talking, phones.
Yeah.
How your voice is transporting electricity, then transport through the air.
I don't know.
And then
exactly. Do you know anything about that?
Fuck.
How the fuck do you not know that they can make it technology because you don't know aliens at all? We just here and we have a certain amount of advancedness on this amount on this technology that we have right now. So this is what we have right now. So what can we say? But the aliens, they could have been evolving for I don't know how many fucking years longer than we have, and they're so smart. They have figured out technology. They can even go through wormholes. You don't know that. Obviously,
I don't know that. I don't know.
I was just about to get at that as well.
Yeah.
teleportation. Why? You know, you've been seeing that from the 1960s. Who's to say, right, that they haven't produced that in an underground bunker somewhere? They've been able to teleport people for a long time. Who's to say that they haven't teleported?
One last thing I was gonna to my thing. Yeah, I personally think that a lot of things that you watch on TV is also like kind of like orchestrated by the government and stuff like that. Not necessarily like that, but the ideas of the movie, like they create the possible and the impossible, so that when you're watching something, you like that everybody can say that's no way, that's impossible.
Oh, this is fantasy.
That can never
this is
happen.
sci-fi.
This is exactly this is sci-fi. This is fantasy. So people cannot even imagine what technology like.
It's just a story. It's just a movie, right?
Every time you buy an iPhone or something like that, it's always like an iPhone 1, iPhone 2, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. But they already had the technology to make iPhone 3 way before they did iPhone 1. But it's just a marketing
Let Nathan say something.
See what you gonna do.
So if these aliens exist, why haven't they made themselves known?
Well,
okay, listen.
Yeah.
No, because I think I speak kind of like trying to in a way to like try to say it to you anyways. Imagine it this way then. Aliens, they are very smart beings.
Okay, yeah.
And obviously we are living in such a huge universe, you don't even know how to imagine it right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
So they have managed to come to Earth finally.
Yeah.
But if they have such technology in your own head right now, as a super being, something like that, yeah, would you probably they've been somewhere else before that, maybe different places, and they have established a way to kind of like talk to people and not to get everybody crazy. Maybe some different planets trying to kill them when they came there, or something like that. Who knows? So they like established like they have to like learn things about. I mean, there are so many things that I've seen that are even just on YouTube alone, where there's like UFOs, like unidentified, obviously flying objects, and even obviously the government doesn't get up there and say, oh, by the way, that was us, never mind. No, nothing like that. It's just unidentified objects that are doing extremely insane things, and people don't even know. Like even right now, I cannot say like if the government has that technology right now, then they obviously are keeping shit secret. And if they got that technology that is so advanced, that is making me think that is like, if I didn't see it on there, I would think it was probably like on TV or something like that, some special effects shit.
They've made camouflage for soldiers.
I saw that video.
Milky, I saw the camouflage.
Have you seen that? Where it's in Iraq or something, there's gunfire going, and then you see a shadow move, and then he jumps under the tank.
Right
and
there, the only time you ever see something that is super
technology.
The only time you ever see something that is super technologized and it's amazing is when it's like a weapon to kill some more people. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, you really don't need something even crazier than nuclear bombs to kill more people. I mean, you just need to chill the fuck out now with all this weapon making and stuff like that. But every time they do it, they get up there like, oh yeah, the terrorists better watch out now, man. We're gonna fuck them up if they fuck with us this time. And then you see a video at some point like, no, the terrorists, we want some Americans. Dead to Americans. Some guys who are poor as fuck and who are probably even getting the weapons from these motherfuckers who are talking shit about them and shit like that. It's mind-boggling to me how most people, I still have to argue with a lot of people today about, oh, I think we should go to war right now. Like, man, what the? Why
do you think space is empty?
What you mean empty?
Oh,
do you think the bag of space is empty?
No,
he just radio waves and shit like that.
Right. Well, it's full of organisms. Once you get past the atmosphere, it's full of organisms in space that can float around.
Hold slow your roll.
In the energy of space, because space isn't a vacuum. It isn't what
organisms.
It's full of energy.
Yeah, energy, but organisms. How can these organisms exist?
Actually, macroorganisms they're called.
Microorganisms.
No, macro. Macro, yeah, huge.
Huge.
Yes.
You think there are huge organisms?
Shit that we cannot see with our eyes because they're a different wavelength, completely different.
Actually, I agree with the wavelength bit.
And like they're in a different spectrum of light to us, so they have to be picked up on infrared because.
Oh yeah, by the way, what he's saying right there, that is actually like modern science fact. There are actually universes within universes.
Yeah.
As a modern science fact, like basically we are living on a certain radio
NASA footage.
so that
there's NASA
and
footage,
our
right?
bodies allow us to register to this wavelength so that we're living, we're seeing this, and this is what we do, this is how we decode information, and this is what it is right now. And there, if you were able to register to a different, there could be other people right now walking right past here, like doing some, maybe some reptilians. Who
there could be weird shit going
on right now, but we only see what we see, and this is our perspective, and our knowledge of what's happening around here is only to our best understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, because what can you can what
else do we know?
The wavelength thing makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
I mean,
basically,
because we can't see heat and things like that, you know.
All NASA footage goes to the Vatican before it goes anywhere. Did
Whoa.
you know that? All
how did we get from aliens to the Vatican?
listen,
I don't know.
Listen,
but NASA footage.
Listen.
How do you know
NASA's
that?
equipment is bought by the Vatican, is owned by the Vatican. All the photographs and all the video footage that gets taken up in
By the way,
space
that's another thing, yeah.
comes
right
back
now,
to the Vatican.
NASA, they are the ones who are up there looking for whatever is up there, anyways, yeah.
They
I don't know
know
the things
it's up
they do. There've even been people from NASA who came out of there and said, okay, I have to say something. Aliens do exist, blah blah. But obviously, you see that and you're like, he's talking shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking
I
at.
heard about this as well because like there's some
nobody
astronauts
knows.
was saying this whole shit
Yeah,
going
man.
down, like weird shit.
You ever
And
seen The Abyss?
I have seen The Abyss.
It's when you watch the videos that they've uncovered that they never wanted people to see, the footage that, because they had to black out a lot of the footage when they released it to the public, but then there's been uncovered footage without the blacked out shit that the Vatican did to it, and it shows you in full view what it's like, and it's like being under the deep ocean in that film Abyss, and it's like a scene out of that, isn't it?
Man,
Shit,
that's why I go back to, they try to make it look like it's impossible for something like that to happen, where it's really what's probably actually happening right now.
Okay,
really.
so do you think people have landed on Mars?
On Mars, human beings. You see, when it goes back to there, actually, because I was reading something in the Metro papers, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that, where it says something like, human beings may be aliens, we might actually exist from Mars. Well, no, there used to be water on Mars. And
definitely.
obviously water is like the beginning of life. I mean, a jellyfish is 95% water. If that doesn't say life is water, then I don't know what does. So obviously there's water on Mars. So there must be some sort of living something, even because life just comes easy, just something stupid like some micro whatever came into the water and then somehow it started living there, making other baby, reproducing and stuff like that. So it could have been there was life on Mars, shit happened and I don't know. We don't really know what the fuck.
Shit did happen and there was a massive disaster on
but you see,
planet.
that's another theory. Like when it goes back to the theories of what happened in history,
well, there's this guy, you know, that Bashar guy that I showed you before. That he claims to be able to channel an alien. Anyway, so he tells you about what happened to Mars. Okay, he says that there was a massive disaster there.
I remember
lots
that.
of souls from Mars reincarnated here.
Reincarnated.
By the way,
that's
oh my god! What the fuck? When you see that, when you there's a thing on YouTube,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it on now because it's like half an hour long
like
or
you
something
said,
like that.
have the try to contact
watch
with.
it.
There's a
But,
guy
basically-
who thinks that he's actually channeled an alien.
Well,
Basically, all you have to do.
That's batshit crazy.
It is batshit crazy,
Anyway.
but he's awesome though. His
the funny
advice
thing is,
is proper sound as fuck.
There's I'm gonna put just history. You don't have to watch it. I'm just
You
gonna show
listen to him and you're just like, wow, I wish somebody would give me this advice when I was a kid.
Oh, man.
It takes an alien to give us awesome advice. It doesn't sound right, but it's fucking... It's no advice that I've ever heard from any other person, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, basically, this video is just on YouTube, and it's history of humanity, and this is like a kid's guide, I guess, to history of humanity, but it's just an opinion anyways to what's really happening besides all the cover-ups and all the shit like that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when you're talking about Bashar and how souls, blah, blah, come in here, it's kind of like, basically, he says exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. He says, and on Mars, there were all these souls who they fucked up. Basically, their planet were dying and shit like that. They needed a quick place to go to, and obviously they were bad fucking souls, so they didn't ask Earth to come here, and then they just immediately come here without any advice, and
Souls.
they're gonna get kicked out. Literally, that's what it says anyways. So, because obviously, because like we go back to the whole frequency thing is basically we just finding a way like our bodies allow us to be in this frequency. So when you die, the body that allows you to be here obviously is dead. So the you that is you has to go somewhere else, isn't
energy,
it? Yeah, the energy that is you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's gonna have to go somewhere else. So if you think about it on a bigger scale, there's souls literally everywhere, just in their different bodies.
Are they souls or are they just energy though?
Well,
Since it's all an energy transfer.
yeah, but isn't like the idea of you, the idea, because maybe the person that you are is like your attitude towards, I don't know, maybe racism or whatever, that could be done by your genes or something like that.
Let me
But
put
the
it
you
into
that is
something else.
you, that is inside of you, after your body dies, is still
The
you, like
consciousness.
the you who goes to heaven or whatever, like that. The
Yeah.
consciousness of you, your
Let-
spirit or
Let
something.
me use an analogy, right? When I'm making music, I'll use FL Studio, and when I use FL Studio, it feels like I'm using a program that everybody else could use, and everybody else, if they wanted to make using would use. And but even though I might use it to make some kind of music, someone else is going to make
I have
different kind of
something to
music,
tell you as
completely
well.
different music with it. But yet they've used the same program, and so that program that made us is within us, but it makes different people every time. So like that program, that frequency, that television, all that that Wi-Fi signal that's being sent to us, that that is able that
to
keeps
register,
us
to do something that we cannot even visualize.
it keeps us organizing. That keeps us being organisms. That keeps us organizing material.
By the way, you know there was
in complex designs that we would do. So
What's
we're
it called?
complex motherfuckers, us, humans.
Bro, you just
The
said
way we work.
those complex motherfuckers. I think I probably told you this fact before. You know, if you take all your genes out of your body, and you put them onto a teaspoon or something like that, basically they're probably just still about a teaspoon's worth. All your genes are in your body, they'll probably till a teaspoon's worth. But if you straighten them all out and you tie them all together, they will go all the way to the moon, back to Earth, thousands of times.
How'd you know this?
This is a fact. This is like a fact, like a theory of evolution. This is just something that is because they're so tied in the knots, like it's ridiculous. Like basically,
This is holographic universe theory as well. The fact that we're like bloated out basically, and we're projected, but we're made of like only so much solid material, truly solid
well,
material.
yes,
Is
yes.
that what you're talking
Well, I don't know what that is. Not exactly what I was talking about there.
Yeah.
But you was just saying what I was talking about there was how you were saying we're such complex human beings. What I was saying is actually what I was gonna get to was that. After you straighten all these genes out, that is actually in your
the
body.
genes,
it goes
yeah.
all the way to the moon, back, and stuff like that. And if somebody was to sit down and start typing
In
all
one line,
the
you know.
information that is actually in your body, by the time he finished, he would have enough books to fill the Grand Canyon about 70 odd times. So that is actually all the information on how to make you. So you are the most actually. A gene is actually the most complicated molecule known to
Exists.
humans.
I love that idea, that's
true.
It's like it's so complicated. It's
So
Put it in
complicated.
there, son.
It goes back to twerking.
what I'm saying.
Full
Miley
circle.
Cyrus- Miley Cyrus was trying to tell us something, man.
Wait, watch this later. I know a better one as well.
This talks about Mars and that.
Precisely
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, just pause this. Have you seen the one that's called Revelation of the Pyramids?
No.
That says the pyramids were built by a civilization that existed and collapsed before human history.
Okay, let me ask you a question then.
Ask me away.
How the hell do you think the pyramids were done?
I have no fucking idea.
Listen.
No one knows.
Well, listen, man. You have to realize that history that is told to you is not necessarily the way it happened.
Yeah.
If they're controlling all the things that's happening around you right now, don't you think they were controlling what was happening back then? Of course, they were lying to them. The way the history was done was made for people to be like, oh, so that's what happened. Okay, then, because that's not really necessarily true. If people knew what was really happening, people would have more questions, and then what really happened? Oh, how come you niggas are in power, man? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So listen, the way the pyramids were done, there's like big stacks of like
Bitch, niggas.
2.5 tons
Each,
of
yeah.
big rocks, and there's like no way for all these people to pull it or stack it up in such a perfect shape that it aligns to all these
The stars
specific
and everything,
places.
yeah.
That is amazing, and it's like you have to realize that there's something else that was happening back then.
Definitely.
If this is, I mean, even the drawings on the pyramids, there's some things that
weird
people are
shit.
like, come on, man. So you can't just like, well, what can I say?
Right.
You have to realize, man, there's something else was going on.
So
back
this
then.
on now.
No,
I've
2
got-
seconds.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said about lies, right? If I was the Pharaoh
Yeah.
and someone goes, "Oh, Pharaoh Nathan, how did the pyramids were built?" and I didn't know, I'd be like, "Mate, I built
I
them.
did that shit,
I
son.
did that shit for you."
I got my cousin, my mama, everybody else.
Yeah, maybe boys, we sorted that.
What if you
years
did
ago.
know and you specifically wanted to like say that you were gods or that you were
Same
privy
thing.
to the gods, that the gods told you to do it, and basically that makes
Same
you
thing.
gods? You know?
Yeah,
Except, well, that's
Another
what
thing to go to
happened.
the aliens things, yeah?
yeah.
Crop circles.
Copsuckers are bollocks, man.
I don't, no. They said it was bollocks. Have you seen the amount of crop circles that actually were found? Because a lot of them, obviously, if they don't want something to be shown on TV, they don't show it because they own most of the media
Yeah.
and they can control what people get to see and what people don't get to see. So all this, I mean, if aliens are actually real and they're actually keeping it secret, that would be like one of the top priorities
Of course,
for them
yeah.
not to fucking show this shit.
Yeah, but why would the aliens make crop circles?
It's just like information because I've actually like been looking like a lot of the crop circles that are supposedly, because I've seen the ones that are actually like I think are quite fake, and you can
Yeah.
tell the difference between something that is actually like what the fuck. This is like really, you have to take your time and it has to be a bunch of people and you see that a number of all these things that were done. There
Yeah.
wouldn't be people who just doing all, because there's like over 100 now that have been done and
Yeah.
they are like spotless, amazing, geometrical things that people don't, once you look at it, the average person just doesn't know what the fuck it is, like, oh, crop circle. Well, whatever, man. Just some bunch of kids probably did that shit. They go
Yeah.
back about the day. But then, if you really look at it and you see, and you actually know, like, what's it called, technology and how to make different things and how electricity works and stuff like that. You're looking at some signs. Some signs are actually like signs of, like the major sign actually of Earth is the magnetic sign. You know, when if you put a like different metal, like tiny little
Yeah.
metals, and you put a magnet in between.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see-
that
you see
loops,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
loops. That's the way the magnetic field is working around the Earth. Even animals actually like quite magnetic, like the everything like the
Yeah.
whole energy
I understand
is
that, yeah.
flowing. Like for example, again, if you take water and you like have a bottle, like a 2-liter bottle, and you just like hold it upside down, the water will get out. You can time it, but if you spin it in a circle, the whole
Yeah.
the circle thingy and the water, the way it comes out is quicker. There's like little secrets of how things can be done
Yeah.
and how things. How
Like-
the whole world and how the thing
Like,
just
there is
connects
a-
together
there is a
that
way-
can benefit humanity to a different level, and
Jane,
it's just
Jane,
Definitely.
there is a way to harness all that magnetic energy
yeah.
and to produce infinite energy right now.
I know
I
there's
know
actually a
of a
way
way.
to produce
How?
infinite, and it's actually been created, obviously.
How? What's he digging for? What's that?
What is this?
In here is neodymium magnets, right? If I was attached this to attach this to a copper spring wire, I'd be able to light an LED just by putting it on there.
Constantly.
Because it's harnessing the magnetic core,
Energy.
the energy from the magnetic core of the Earth, and it's
Is that just a fan?
this is a hard drive.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
this is a dead broken hard drive, and you take the neodymium magnets out of here, you attach them together, you solder them together to a copper spring, and there's videos online that can show you and that show you how powerful these things are and how easy they are to make. And I want to do this in the future, and if people keep reminding us,
love-
like
by the way,
Jay
yeah.
keeps we'll keep
I'm
coming back
telling
to
you,
that.
man,
You know,
it's a
that's
big
the way
issue. It's a
we're
big
gonna have
issue
to go.
because it's what the major money makers are trying to mislead us away from. Is energy that we don't have to pay for. Because
Solar energy.
If we don't,
Yeah.
it's not even just solar energy, because there are energies that is man-made with the knowledge, just like a remote controller, and people don't know how it's done.
Yeah.
But there's things that like mechanisms, like I was talking about with the aliens, like the crop circles. Anyways, I think some of them actually, in fact, some of them actually, there was like one that actually shows like basically the infinite energy wave, like how it's made, like it's connected.
Why would aliens make these symbols in corn? In
It's
crops?
not necessarily, well, listen, it's like maybe that's for them, they come to Earth and they see our land and they see what we're doing and stuff like that, because I guess maybe they have to learn our things before they interact with us or whatever.
Yeah.
So they see us, they see, oh man, these guys are still fighting over oil. Let me try to help them out with this thing. Maybe they'll find out, because like they said, they put the number of pi, because it's such a significant number, onto the thingies up there, the satellites.
Yeah.
They put the number because there are things that all living things can identify towards.
Yeah.
Like mathematics, maybe this is just the way we decode mathematics, but mathematics is a universal thing that everybody, they have
Sacred
to
geometry.
Go back to the pyramids, right? The pyramids have got pi and the golden number and shit like that, and all that sort of stuff.
That's just another thing that makes it more like,
weird as
what the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
So I mean, we'll go put this on and then we'll see,
put a little bit of this.
see how effective it is. Like
on the planet.
I thought this
And
was
that's just one example. Our history
have
is
you
not
seen
what we
this?
think.
Yeah,
Many
well,
things
yeah,
that we
it's
would like
the
to believe
voice,
to be
it's
true
the voice,
simply
yeah.
is
Oh,
not.
right, okay.
This has got to be the biggest. The field of archaeology recently saw some monumental discoveries that are rocking the foundation of what we think we know about ourselves. Many ancient cities such as Babylon, Erech, and Akkad that were written about in the Bible and other ancient texts
Kids will
were
believe
always
anything
thought to
you
be
tell them.
myths because no one could prove they existed. Then, one of them was found. This led to finding another, and then another. Inside one of these cities, archaeologists found thousands of cylindrical clay tablets hidden deep within the earth under this ancient city.
yeah, sure.
The tablets were completely covered in text, written
Go
in
on, just put some
cuneiform,
tunes on
and
them.
tell an ancient story that spans back over hundreds
Yeah,
of thousands of years
Watch
on
us
this
later.
planet,
Yeah,
describing
yeah.
the history of the earth and the origins of the human race in great detail.
But basically, we've been
By the
told
way-
about that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, one subject, by the way, one of the biggest reasons I actually came here, what I wanted to talk about was Syria. We never really talked about
Yeah,
that.
move up, man. See you on the camera.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Hey, squeeze.
What's up? Yeah,
Nah, Syria.
I really want to at least 10-minute talk or something like that. Just-
Okay.
I've seen the Vice magazine documentaries.
Yeah, but
I've
this
seen
is,
the kids getting decapitated.
this
I've
is-
seen the hospitals getting bombed one after another.
of course. This is what I was saying before. Over
Doctors
100,000
being
people
targeted.
died, man.
What-
Over 100,000 people died.
What is the solution, though?
The solution is for America to fucking stop giving them guns, and for them to help get the rebels who are actually committing this horrific
It's
murders.
the rebels that are doing the murders.
That's the name they gave them. They said the rebels, but it's Al Qaeda.
Okay, but let's just call them the rebels. And
Okay, let's just
Assad.
call them the rebels.
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
just so we know what we're talking about. Right. So who's committing the murders? Is it
Okay.
Assad or
Okay, let me
rebels?
just give it to you how it is, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
In Syria, rebels have been going on there killing bare people, and it's gone over 100,000 people that's actually died. That's including women and children.
Yeah.
And Assad is the president of there, and right now he was like on TV, like getting the army to surround the rebels and stuff like that.
It's a civil war, right? It's a civil war, right? And basically, people are trying to interfere. People are trying to pick sides. Also trying to use it as an
you have
excuse
to, you have to explain
springboard a war.
You can't just spring
No,
onto
no,
that.
I'm
You
like-
can't-
Yeah. You can't spin on that. He's right.
yeah. You
But
can't
at the same time, right? I'm just trying to give a summary about like what the topic is, because at the same
think
time,
maybe that's
when
what-
you go on about
then
what
that's what come at
Assad
the end.
is doing and stuff like, you don't
No,
really
exactly.
really like.
I haven't said anything about what Assad is doing. I'm just starting right now. I'm just explaining it, and then maybe you can put the summary at the end, because that's where
Yeah, skip
it's like
that
a
idea.
conclusion, isn't it?
Yeah. So come on. What do you reckon? The rebels have kicked
No,
off.
and then whatever, and then Assad he was on TV saying he's getting the rebels surrounded and stuff like that, and it's even in the papers. And then after 100,000 people,
But you
died,
haven't
yeah.
explained who Assad is, though.
Assad is the president, is the dictator.
Thank you.
Dictator.
Like,
Oh,
no,
that's- oh.
no, but who the people watching aren't going to know that.
I
are
thought
they?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I was trying to
Assad is
explain
the
situation.
president,
What was go-
the president / dictator of Syria, where so many.
What does he want as well?
What is
Have you seen his wife? She's gorgeous. What more could he want? She's like a supermodel. Check her out, man.
To be honest with you, I
Assad's
don't know
wife.
what-
Assad's mate.
I don't know what Assad wants here, but all I know is Americans at some point decided they're gonna put on TV. Well, they didn't. That's what they say. They say, "Oh, Assad killed so many people with the weapons." They didn't say where's the evidence to show this or nothing. Nothing whatsoever. They just went on TV and said Assad just killed 1,500 people with the chemical weapons.
Do you think he's another puppet, or do you think he's another Hitler?
Who? Assad?
Yeah.
Assad's just a dictator.
Again,
I think
Hitler,
Assad is just another
it's still-
Gaddafi.
Yeah.
You're right. What earlier on we were talking about Hitler. It is in question whether he was a British agent, whether he was actually acting for the British.
But you
in
can't,
the end,
you can't deny that in some circumstances, especially in the Middle East, a dictatorship is a stronger form of government, which leads to more stability. Like Saddam Hussein, right? Iraq
You
was,
see,
was
I,
far
No,
better
never,
under
never.
I
Saddam
personally
Hussein.
think
Never.
that
never. I'm a fucking
I personally
anarchist, right?
think-
I'm not going to feed into that bullshit. Buy into that bullshit. Sorry.
Still-
I sell crazy. I've got enough crazy here. You don't sell that shit
I
somewhere
think-
else.
You know what I think, yeah? Because when I see what's happening, yeah? Because I even have a page on Facebook and stuff like that. And I see what's happening with all the people who are running these pages and stuff like that. Because they're all the people who are feeling very strongly about what the government is doing. They really hate it. Like, oh my God, see what Obama did now. And we're going to war again. Are you serious? It's going to start another third world war. People who are very
Yeah.
in tune with the news and stuff like that, yeah? And they're on Facebook letting other people know this stuff, and I'm on Facebook trying to do the same thing, and I just been getting to know all these people. And what I realize is that everybody's like talking about what's happening, like what Miley Cyrus was doing there. People just talk about it to death, but no, there's no like big organizations on the solution on how
There's
to
no
solve
solutions
it.
yet.
Nobody ever, because I have been wondering like, yo, okay, so let's do something about it then.
Yeah, and what's
You know
the
I'm saying?
solution to this problem? And everyone's just like, oh, it's a problem.
So Obama did that, blah blah blah, this and that, what's happening. I know everybody knowing about it.
What it is, right? Is that
Everybody know about it is the first step, I guess.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to say, yo, we have to do something now.
right?
Because
I
shit is
hate
going
to
crazy.
quote a TV show, right? I hate to quote
Oh,
Game
yeah.
of Thrones, right? But that dude said it right in the past few episodes on the third season that I've seen. He said that when there's war on somewhere, that almost everywhere else, absolutely nothing's going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people are finding them like the most trivial shit to look at and to judge.
Well, listen, my friend. Have you seen the media these days? They are putting some of the most stupidest, like anything that is most trivial and like, oh, America is the biggest for this one actually.
Yeah.
Like, even you watch TV right now, it's like Big Brother, it's Jodie Shaw, it's this and that. It's
Yeah.
just
How about this?
like what the
How about
fuck,
this?
man.
Princess Kate had a baby. Wow!
Wow! The wedding. Jesus Christ!
They've
Did
got
you-
engaged!
How about the stupidest thing? They just put a stupid thing on, like they say the wedding.
You not
They make a
mention
big
X Factor.
subject on one thing, like
Yeah.
the heads. Oh my God! Did you see the heads they were wearing? Oh, look at this! It's just like this. Oh, what about her? Oh my God! Kate's sister's got a big ass. Can you
Yeah.
believe it? Like, are you serious? What the fuck are
They
you
did make
talking
a big
about?
thing about our ass.
They did, man.
They
I
did.
saw it in the papers and everything. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Really? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
But these are the things that are in the papers these days, anyways. If you go into the metro papers these days, you see every page you flick, there's a big half a page taking advert on there because it's just the way it is, anyways. It's not about news.
Advertising, yeah.
It's not about news.
Not to
Don't give a
mention
shit.
X Factor, which basically
They
and
put
the
X
pop
Factor and
idols.
it's like, bro,
the pop idols
you're not
as
gonna
well,
put
which
the prices right
they keep
there.
both
What the
Atlantic and
Can I say the Metro News?
The British
Page number
Isles.
2 of the Metro News was Game of Thrones spoilers ending. And I was like, what the
Who
fuck?
gives a shit? This is the newspaper.
It was.
This is news. I want to hear news. Jesus Christ, man. But anyways, these are just things that are happening, and a lot of people don't even pay attention
no,
to it.
man. No, I think like it's right because most of them are asleep when like if you buy in X Factor, man, like it is like you're buying in the fantasy, you're buying in the hype. And you're looking forward to the weekend, just
I think
just
it-
mulling on by, just looking forward to the weekend and get your cheap shit on a Saturday TV night. On a Saturday night, the TV is so fucking cheap and nasty. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just keeps them like fucking hypnotized.
Yeah, man.
And
Ah.
it keeps selling the same
By the
shit
way,
to
yeah.
them. Keeps selling the Motown only
I-
sung by shit singers.
I think TV has, man, a big impact on the behavior of a lot of people these days as well,
That's a good
the
point.
majority. Because, like I said before, when I was explaining how people are slaves and you just basically, you have a kid, he's crying, so every time
Yeah.
you get tired, you just put the baby in the TV, so he's happy there, you don't
Yeah,
give a
watch
fuck.
Dora the
As long-
Explorer,
As
whatever,
long as
right?
he's not crying, you don't give a fuck. He can watch Disney Channel or anything like that. He's not crying,
We'll get
he's
some more
chilling right
drink.
there.
Yeah, alright.
Next, when we come back, we should talk about Jeremy Kyle,
Oh,
the
okay.
Kyle Beast.
Okay, let's take a pause on this because I need a slasher. Okay. How do you pause the video?
Just go, I'll rap or
Just go,
something.
man.
What? Oh, it's fucking rap.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This video might need editing.
I need a song for the hero unsung. With faces on the mirror of the revolution. No looking back, cause in the back is what's done. And tell the preacher God got more than one son. Beat us like a drum, but we never ever run. Illuminati gets another brother hung. The same they did the Biggie, Tupac, Michael Jackson. We diamonds in our rough, yeah, we clever enough. They're watching me and I'm watching them. Them government boys got a lot of balls in them. On the TV, busy causing mass deception. Busy eating in Syria, causing mass destruction.
They're saying goodbye just to see you later. Forget the alligator. Shout out to the masturbator.
How can we follow a leader when it's a corrupt one? I hold up the peace sign. I'm not even sure what we're talking about.
And that's why white people should never rap. Fuck you, Eminem. You give us false hope.
I think you missed out a word in that white people shouldn't rap. Why white boys shouldn't rap?
He said white boys.
I heard white men can't jump.
No, they can jump, man. I've seen a couple of them jump anyways. In it.
In it blood.
You get me, blood. Yeah, one thing I've been saying to my mom that she's not liking is like one pet.
Do you know what they're watching in the mornings in retirement homes across Britain every day?
Death episodes.
Jeremy Kyle. Every day.
Jezza.
They watch
Without fail.
a lot of nursing homes in England daily watch Jeremy Kyle.
Except when he's on holiday. And then they probably watch reruns. That's a lot of hatred, man.
No, Jeremy Kyle's not about hatred, it's about solving problems.
You know
It's
what?
about pure hatred, it's about
See,
mistrusting your neighbour, it's about mistrusting your family.
You know one thing,
It's
yeah?
about fucking
Yeah, Nathan,
giving the woman all the power and cowing down to the bitches.
It's not.
You know
You
what?
see
One thing I realized,
Jeremy
man.
Kyle cowers against when the bitches come on, like
thing I
the real
realized,
dogs that like are ravenous. The real bitches that are ravenous, right? He can't control them, and so he just lets them run wild, and then he like sides with them. He's a
Give me a
proper.
tiny bit for thingy, please. I don't know how to call it.
I like Jeremy Kyle, I think he makes a lot of good points. And I think
Just
Yes,
solve
you know
some
what?
problems.
Yeah,
just sprinkle them in.
you know what? You said something
I'll
right
sprinkle
there.
it. I'll
Just cut. Yeah. Jeremy Kyle does make a lot of good points. From time to time, he makes a point or two.
yeah.
But tell me exactly how does it solve a lot of problems? Because most of the time when I'm watching Jeremy Kyle, he just yells at the guy or whoever the crowd is behind.
Yeah.
Then he is like good too. And then if the crowd is behind that person, then he's like, how dare you let your mother do that to you, blah blah blah, shit like that. And then at the end, if the people are not liking each other, he just says, so are you gonna go your separate ways, or blah blah. And then it's like, dude, what the fuck is going on here?
But what I mean is, if people
Oh, he's a
think,
fucking homewrecker.
if you watch Jeremy Kyle, you can see the situations that people are in, and the problems they have, and you can try and avoid them in your own
You
life.
see,
You know?
you can't look at the audience, the people
It's
who
meant
go
to
there
like
that.
breed this
because
like
the people who go there,
hatred for
imagine
your own
yourself,
countrymen as
right
well.
now, you meet a girl that you really like, and then at some point you get married, and then you have some problems, like you really have some problems. You're not gonna pick up the phone and call Jeremy Kyle, are you?
No.
So you have to think about the kind of person who actually would literally call Jeremy Kyle and say, Jeremy Kyle, my boyfriend and I need to come to your show because he's been fucking all these bitches and I need a DNA test. And like, come on, man. You
Lie
like,
detectors and DNA.
so you have to look at it. Some of them people are looking for just a little bit of.
How the hell do we not know that it's not actors? How the hell do we not know?
Well, the thing is, yeah.
Do we know that it's not all actors? And it's not
Jerry
being
Springer
sworn
was
to
actually
secrecy?
actors.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Jerry Springer was actually actors, but Jerry Springer was like just over the top.
What
It
if
was
they've all been
ridiculous.
sworn to secrecy?
Why?
Why? Because people do anything for money. They'll do anything to get on TV.
Yeah, so
If people be sworn
Nate,
to
listen,
secrecy
listen.
for the government, they could be sworn to secrecy for Jeremy Kyle.
If you've got a lot of people who have got a lot of social problems, who will do anything for money to get on the telly,
I think
if they're going to sign up, you know.
I think it's all to do with money. it's all just to do with money. If people get offered some money to be in a TV show or just do some crazy shit, then obviously, especially if you're some broke chava motherfucker with some bitch who's pregnant with some other bitch's baby, then you're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay, so let's go back to you said if I got all these problems now with my missus, that whatever, need a DNA test. If you had the same problem, but I said
You're not gonna do that.
I'll give you 10 grand to come on my show for an hour.
Bruv, if somebody said I'll give you 5 grand, I'll do it.
It's just like 100 quid, I'm alright.
I think I'll do it right now actually. So
So fuck it.
If someone said I have a trade right now, I'll do it. I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself, man.
But like, yeah, man. Like, I think a lot of it is staged. I think also the way they frame it and the production, the editing on it, it's heinous. And it also like,
but it's good
constantly
television.
kowtowing against the female, like, I mean, towards the female, like.
That's a reflection of
I
society.
think it's a conditioning of the mind, man.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen the way like
Look at
the
it.
law comes into it? He knows that the woman's got to decide in the end for the man to get consent. So you always see Jeremy like kowtowing to the woman, saying, "Oh, come on, can you please come just give him another chance?
Yeah.
Can we just can let him see his kid in these shitty contact centres with people staring at him,
If
thinking
the
that he's
audience
got a
is like,
meter."
oh, give him another chance, then he'll be like, give him another chance. He's a nice guy.
Exactly. So
He's
it's
done
all
wrong
like
in his past, and then you will go to the point where you say he makes some sense there because he's actually making some sense, but it's only because of the agenda that is going on, the aura that is going on
there's an
around.
emotional like fucking war going on, and the fucking the weapons he uses to
And you have to
fucking
realize
rope in the emotions
every
of
time
the
this
women.
guy comes into work here, he's just chilling. He puts on a suit on, and then he says, "I wonder what kind of crazy motherfuckers I'm gonna meet today."
Yeah,
and
he
then he
does
goes
it.
out there, and then he does a big show.
Then he's Jeremy Kyle, yeah.
There
It's
you
a
go.
big
So you
fucking
have.
circus, isn't it?
It's a big fucking man. The way I look at it, I just try to look at everything from a logical point of view.
He's
Oh,
the
let's
it's the
think it from a
circus
different
and
point of
he's the
view.
ringmaster.
An entertainment point of view, right? It's very entertaining, because there's nothing better than
See, there you go
Jeremy
there. But I don't like that.
It
because
breeds hatred for the
they're-
country.
they're-
Like people hate the country after that and look at it and go, we
Well,
live in
see,
a shit
if-
place.
if-
Everyone's shit.
okay, but you've
If I
got
was,
two.
if I was born in
outside.
England, then I would say if the outsiders hate that shit, then they can go and fucking watch their own shit. Because if they come to this country, if I was from here, I would say if they come to this country, obviously there's a reason they came here, whatever the reason is. But if you come here and you say I hate this and I hate that and I hate that, I hate that, then
off.
if
Yeah.
you really hate it, you can complain. Obviously, anybody has a right to complain. That's right. Your place was like South Africa was terrible. You came here, you complain about this. You have the right to complain about it, but you cannot be angry about it to that point where you're like, oh my God, Jeremy Kyle, this and that. But if you're gonna go to that far, then maybe you should need to go back to Africa or something.
We need to look to extremes, though, right? On one hand, you say, if
Mate,
you
go
watch,
back to Africa.
Listen-
Oh, I wish I'd ever been to Africa.
You never had a black
I've been